Greetings viewers, this is the Mathinator coming at you, and on this video I will be doing the SAT practice test number 3, math section, no calculator. So hopefully you have gone to the SAT website, thecollegeboard.org, and you have been able to download and print out your own copy so that you can take this portion of the test along with me. Now, I always suggest when it comes to taking these tests is make sure you read each question carefully. Reread portions that you have to reread to make sure that you understand it carefully, because it is going to be very difficult to get to the correct answer if you don't understand what it is saying. So you need to look at what is given, look at your unknowns. What is it asking me? How do I know when I have arrived at the correct answer? And all of that arises from making sure that you carefully read the problem. So in this no calculator section, we have 25 minutes to answer 20 questions, or when you take the test you do. This video definitely will not be 25 minutes because I'm going to be giving explanations as I do the problem. So I will be reading each problem one time, and then as I said, as I solve it, I want to give an explanation of the topic and the concept, because that's really what it's about when you're taking these standardized tests. Do you know and understand a broad range of mathematical topics and concepts? So let's go ahead and get into this. A painter will paint in walls with the same size and shape in a building using a specific brand of paint. The painter's fee can be calculated by the expression NKLH, where N is the number of walls, K is a constant with units of dollars per square foot, L is the length of each wall in feet, and H is the height of each wall in feet. If the customer asks the painter to use a more expensive brand of paint, which of the factors in the expression would change? Well, what do we have in the expression? We have N in this building, number of walls. That is a constant. K, all right, is a constant with units of dollars per square foot. Okay, let's look at it. Dollars per square foot. L is the length of each wall in feet. Okay, constant. And H is the height of each wall in feet and constant. And the only thing that could change if we had a more expensive brand of paint is the dollars per square foot, which is K. If 3R equals 18, what is the value of 6R plus 3? Now, this one right here, there's certain things where I'll say you need to develop math eyes, where you just look at certain things and it triggers something within you and you say, aha, I know exactly how I want to go about doing this. All right, so if 3R equals 18, 6R is twice as much as 3R. So if 3R is equal to 18, 6R is going to be equal to 36, which means 6R plus 3 is going to equal 39. Go ahead and put that. 6R is going to equal 36. Or we can say 6R equals 2 times 3R. Okay, just want to throw that in there. Which of the following is equal to A raised to the 2/3 power for all values of A? All right, well, in this one right here, we have to understand what it means when we have a rational exponent. A to the 2/3 means we're going to have this number, our denominator in the exponent is going to go outside. That's going to become our index. All right. And the numerator is going to become the exponent underneath the radical. All right, so let's go ahead and put that. And so as we can see there, that is answer choice D, the cube root of A squared. The number of states that joined the United States between 1776 and 1849 is twice the number of states that joined between 1850 and 1900. If 30 states joined the United States between 1776 and 1849 and X states joined between 1850 and 1900, which of the following equations is true? All right, well, we know is means equals. So whatever we had between 1776 to 1849, get over here, just want to, that equals twice 2 times the number of 1850 to 1900. So now let's substitute in 30 joined between 1776 and 1849. So that means we can substitute 30 equals 2 times, and it says x joined between 1850 to 1900. So 30 equals 2x. Or, as we can see here, it's written a little different, 2x equals 30. Our reflexive property at work there. If 5 over x equals 15 divided by x plus 20, what is the value of x divided by 5? Okay, straight up solving here. So what we're going to do is cross multiply. So we're going to have 5x plus 100. All right, so again, just cross multiplying. And that is going to equal 15x. Meaning 100 equals 10x, or 10 equals x. And so since 10 equals x, x divided by 5 is 10 divided by 5, which equals 2. If xy is a solution to the system of equations above, what is the value of x minus y? Okay, so for x, the coefficients are different. For y, the coefficients are different. So we need to have a common coefficient so we can use elimination. So what I want to do is multiply the first equation by 3. So we have 6x minus 9y equals negative 42. And divide the second multiply the second equation by 2. So we have 6x minus 4y equals negative 12. And now x has the same coefficient with the same sign subtract. So we're going to subtract these two equations. And that is going to give us negative 5y equals negative 30, so that y equals 6. All right, we have solved for y. Now we want to substitute y equals 6 into either one of those equations. And I'm going to do it into the second one. So I have 3x minus 12 equals negative 6, or 3x equals 6, meaning x equals 2. So x minus y is 2 minus 6, which equals negative 4. C. The function f is defined by a polynomial. Some values of x and f of x are shown in the table above. Which of the following must be a factor of f of x? Well, since we're talking about polynomials and factors, we're looking for the x-intercepts. The x-intercepts are where y equals 0, or where f of x equals 0. So looking at this right here is where x equals, or where f of x, where y equals 0. And so from that, since we know x equals 4 is an x-intercept, that means a factor is going to be x minus 4 equals 0. So since 4 is an x-intercept, x minus 4 is a factor. The line y equals kx plus 4, where k is a constant, is graphed in the xy plane. If the line contains the point CD, where c does not equal 0 and d does not equal 0, what is the slope of the line in terms of c and d? All right, we want to go from now looking at this one similar to the one just above. That plus 4, that's our y-intercept. So our y-intercept means x equals 0. So it goes through the point 0, 4, and it also goes through the point CD. And now k is our slope. So our slope k is going to equal d minus 4 divided by c minus 0, or just d minus 4 divided by c, answer choice A. Kx minus 3y equals 4, 4x minus 5y equals 7. In the system of equations above, k is a constant and x and y are variables. For what value of k will the system of equations have no solution? Okay, so we have to understand systems of equations, either they have one solution, which is their point of intersection of the two lines, there's no solution, meaning the two lines are parallel and they do not intersect, or it's infinite solutions, meaning both equations describe the same line. So in order for these to have no solution, that means the ratio of coefficients on each variable has to be the same. So the ratio of 3 to 5 has to be the same as the ratio of k to 4. So 3 is to 5 as k is to 4. Meaning we have 5k equals 12, so k is equal to 12/5. Answer choice A. In the xy plane, the parabola with the equation y equals x minus 11 squared intersects the line with the equation y equals 25 at 2 points A and B. What is the length of line segment AB? Okay, let's get an xy plane drawn in here. And understanding that since we're talking about a parabola, it's going to be something, let's just draw it on in here like that right there. And it said it intersects the line y equals 25. So let's call that the line y equals 25. So we have our 2 points A and B, the points of intersection. So we have A and B. Okay, let's go ahead and label those A and point B. Okay, now, in order for them to intersect, that means the two equations have to be the same, or the two equations have to be equal. So we're going to set 25 is going to equal x minus 11 squared. And now solving for x, take the square root of both sides. So positive and negative 5 equals x minus 11. So we have negative 5 equals x minus 11, and we have 5 equals x minus 11. So 6 equals x, and then we have 16 equals x. So those are the 2 points. So we have our point A is 625, point B is 1625. So the distance from 6 to 16 is the length of line segment AB. So 6 to 16 is 10. In the figure above, lines K, L, and M intersect at a point. If x plus y equals u plus w, which of the following must be true? All right, so let's try to figure out which of the following statements there must be true. Does x have to equal z? Well, let's look at what we're talking about. X, y, and z, that's a straight angle. W, u, and t add up to a straight angle. So x plus y plus z equals 180 degrees. W plus u plus t also equals 180 degrees. But then it tells us that x plus y equals u plus w. So let me see, let's just put a block right here over those. So since x plus y equals u plus w, if we call x plus y, if we say that is A, then w plus u, same thing as u plus w, commutative property, that also equals A. So now we can subtract these two equations. Our A minus A is 0, and that'll give us z minus t equals 180, 1 minus 180, so z minus t equals 0, meaning z equals t. So now that I know z equals t, I know 3 is correct, so it cannot be, it cannot be 1 and 2 only, because 3 has to be part of the answer. Now, let's look at what else we got going on here. Well, I'm also noticing we have some vertical angles. All right, so we have vertical angle here. Well, that doesn't really help me out. Not yet. We have vertical angle here. So that means x equals t. Well, we already know that z equals t, so that means x also equals z, transitive property there. So we know 1 has to be correct. We have another vertical angle right here, so w equals z, and we have y equals u. Well, there's nothing that says that y has to equal w. All right, we know w has to equal z. There's nothing that equates y to z, which would make y equal to w. So again, the only thing that we cannot say must be true is number 2. So that means 1 and 3 only have to be true. In the quadratic equation above, a is a non-zero constant. The graph of the equation in the xy plane is a parabola with vertex CD. Which of the following is equal to D? All right, now this one right here, you've just got to really understand parabolas and be able to quickly see what you need to do to get the answer. So the first thing I'm going to do is, since it's talking about the vertex, I need to expand what I have there, expand that binomial into, so we have a times x squared plus 2x minus 8, which comes out to ax squared plus 2ax minus 8a equals y. Now, here's where we really have to know our parabolas. In order to find the vertex CD, we need to find our axis of symmetry. So our axis of symmetry is equal to negative x equals negative b over 2a. So that means x equals negative b is 2a, and so it's 2 times a, all right, in there. So a is just a, so it's 2 times a, meaning x equals negative 1. All right, so that is the x-coordinate, that's the axis of symmetry, which is the x-coordinate of the vertex. So the vertex D is the y-coordinate. So we got y equals a x negative 1 squared plus 2 times a, x is negative 1, and that's minus 8a. So that comes out to a times negative 1 squared, so that's a minus 2a minus 8a, and that is equal to negative 9a. Answer choice A. The equation 24x squared plus 25x minus 47 divided by ax minus 2 equals negative 8x minus 3 minus 53 divided by ax minus 2 is true for all values of x not equal to 2 divided by a, where a is a constant. What is the value of a? Now this one right here is deceptively simple. It looks very difficult, but it is actually quite simple. When we look at our dividend divisor and our quotient, all right, the first term in our quotient here has to equal it is the quotient of the first terms in our dividend and our divisor. All right, so that's just understanding long division with polynomials. So 24x squared divided by ax equals negative 8x. All right, so we can rewrite that. Let's see, we can say 24x squared has to equal negative 8ax squared. Our x squareds are going to divide out, so that 24 has to equal negative 8a, meaning negative 3 equals a. So the answer is B. Little tricky, but again, deceptively easy. What are the solutions to 3x squared plus 12x plus 6 equals 0? All right, looking at, we have all irrational answers there, answer choices, which means we're going to go to our quadratic formula. So x is going to equal negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c divided by 2a. So that's negative 12 plus or minus the square root of 72 divided by 6, meaning we have negative 12 plus or minus, need to know how to simplify your radicals. So that's going to be 6 square root of 2, all of that over 6. And that's going to come out to, all right, that is going to be equal to negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 2. Answer choice A. C equals 5/9 F minus 32. The equation above shows how a temperature F measured in degrees Fahrenheit relates to a temperature C measured in degrees Celsius. Based on the equation, which of the following must be true? All right, a temperature increase of 1 degree Fahrenheit is equivalent to a temperature increase of 5/9 degrees Celsius. All right, that has to be true. Yes, that is true. Okay, so if we look at what we have right here, if we increase that F by 1, all right, we have our multiplier 5/9, so that's going to increase our C by 5/9. Okay. A temperature increase of 1 degree Celsius is equivalent to a temperature increase of 1.8 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, so here, all right, a little tricky here, 1.8 equals 9/5. Now we have to look at what we have for the first one. If we have an increase of 1 Fahrenheit equals an increase of 5/9 C, if we rearrange this and multiply by 9/5, this comes out to 9/5 F equals 1C. So 2 has to be true. A temperature increase of 5/9 degree Fahrenheit is equivalent to a temperature increase of 1 degree Celsius. Well, we just saw in part 2, which we said, or option 2 or statement 2 had to be true. 1.8 degrees Fahrenheit, an increase of 1.8 Fahrenheit is an increase of 1 degree Celsius. So then 2 and 3 are contradictory statements. So since 2 has to be true, 3 cannot be true. So it is D. Both 1 and 2 are true. And that is the end of our multiple choice. And now we are ready for our free response. All right, we have x cubed times x squared minus 5 equals negative 4x. If x is greater than 0, what is one possible solution to the equation above? All right, looking at what we have here, what I want to do first of all is get rid of that x. Simplify, we can divide out an x so that we have x squared times x squared minus 5 equals negative 4. Now if I multiply through on the left side, I have x to the 4th minus 5x squared equals negative 4, which I can rearrange that to x to the 4th minus 5x squared plus 4 equals 0. And now that is just like ax squared plus bx plus c. This factors out to x squared minus 1, x squared minus 4 equals 0. I have difference of 2 squares, both of those, so that means x equals positive or negative 1, x equals positive or negative 2. All right, but it says if x is greater than 0. So that means one possible solution is 1. The other possible solution is 2. So either one of those numbers, positive 1 or positive 2. So we just had to recognize a couple things with that one. If 7/9 x minus 4/9 x equals 1/4 plus 5/12, what is the value of x? So I see all these fractions here. I want to clear these fractions. I want to multiply through by the least common multiple. So the least common multiple of 9, 9, 4, and 12 is going to be 36. So I'm going to multiply everything through by 36. So 36 divided by 9 is 4. So I have 4 times 7, which is 28x minus, all right, so again, now we got 4 times 4 is 16, so 16x, and that equals 36 divided by 4 is 9, and then plus 36 divided by 12 is 3, 3 times 5 is 15. And so that gives me 12x equals 24, so x, the value of x is going to be 2. Two isosceles triangles are shown above. If 180 minus z equals 2y and y equals 75, what is the value of x? All right, so we have 180 minus z equals 2y, and 2y is 75, y is 75. That means 180 minus z equals 150. Meaning z equals 30. Now we are given the information that we have two isosceles triangles. So isosceles triangles, of course, means that two of the sides are congruent in length, which means that their opposite angles are congruent in measure. So the angle here and angle here, those two angles are congruent, all right, because each angle is opposite the congruent side. All right. Now, the other thing that gives us, so that, and let's just call that angle A, all right? And since we know z is equal to 30 degrees, A plus A has to equal 150. Or 2A equals 150, so we have A is equal to 75. Now, our exterior angle theorem tells us that x equals the sum of z and A. So that x equals 30 plus 75, 105 degrees. Put my units outside there. At a lunch stand, each hamburger has 50 more calories than each order of fries. If 2 hamburgers and 3 orders of fries have a total of 1,700 calories, how many calories does a hamburger have? All right, we need to recognize this as a system of 2 equations. All right, we've got hamburger and we've got fries. So let's just say we have H and we have F. It says hamburger has 50 more calories than each order of fries. So the calories hamburger equals the fries plus 50. And then it says 2 hamburgers, so 2H plus 3 orders of fries plus 3F, that equals 1,700. And we want to know how many calories does a hamburger have, so we want everything in terms of hamburgers, all right? Everything in terms of H. So that means we can say H minus 50 equals F. And now we have 2H plus 3H minus 50, that equals 1,700. So 2H plus 3H minus 150 equals 1,700, meaning we have 5H equals 1,850. So H equals 370 calories, 370 calories for each hamburger. All right. In triangle ABC, the measure of angle B is 90 degrees. BC equals 16 and AC equals 20. Triangle DEF is similar to triangle ABC, where vertices D, E, and F correspond to vertices A, B, and C respectively, and each side of triangle DEF is 1/3 the length of the corresponding side of triangle ABC. What is the value of the sine of angle F? All right, so we need to sift through some unnecessary wording here and really get to what's going on. Again, read it carefully, understand how do I go about getting the right answer, and how do I know when I have the correct answer. So let's look at what we have. We have triangle ABC where B is 90 degrees. So B, there's our B. It says BC equals 16. So let's just say, let's put A right here, C right here. So that is 16. And we have, BC is 16, AC is 20. All right. And then let's see, we have DEF. So ABC, we have DEF. There's a lot of unnecessary wording in here, but it's to really test your knowledge of math and similar triangles. Okay. Now, we want to know what is the sine of F. Well, the sine of F is going to equal the sine of C. And the sine of C is going to equal AB over 20. Well, what is AB? Again, math eyes. Recognizing we have a 3, 4, 5 triangle right here. 20 is 4 times as much as 5. 16 is 4 times as much as 4. Which means AB is going to be 4 times as much as 3, so 12. So sine C equals 12 over 20, which simplifies to 3/5. And that is also going to be the sine of angle F, as I said earlier. So 3/5 or 0.6. And there we have it. That is the end of our video. All right, continue practicing. Good luck.